Thanks, Craig.
Woke up this morning and there was a single cornflake on my windowsill whispering investment advice to me.
Is the cornflake in the room with us now?
Yes. Yes, and he's telling me to invest.
He tells me to burn things.
Oh, God. Oh, God. He's giving us very different advice. Maybe this is like a financial manipulation strategy. He tells you to burn things and then me to invest in things that will profit from whatever burns. That's how we make our money.
First you get the sugar, then you get the power, then you get the women.
Listen to the cornflake. Welcome to the podcast, Trans Australian Coaster Channel.
Hello.
Yay!
Yes. I am back.
Welcome back to the podcast.
Am I the first reoccurring guest?
Yes.
I believe so.
Yes.
Woo! Milestone. I did a thing.
You've achieved something in your life. How does it feel?
Yeah, I have achieved. I've gotten my first international credits. Woo!
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 Since we last spoke.
Woo!
Obviously, as a part of Ejector Beartime Season 2, as we've seen in the trailer.
Which has now
Yay!
been dropped. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Finally it's out. After much delays, considering I managed to break a second bone in the space of 8 months.
Yes.
Oh yeah, how are you doing?
I'm
us
getting
about
there. I really don't have a fun story. I literally just stacked it walking down the street.
I mean,
and I broke my ankle.
yeah. Still a story to be told. I think yeah, the luck is
It's
luck,
you're not doing
doing
great with the luck at the moment.
Not really, yeah.
Then again, the bad luck seemed to strike me in Japan. So
yeah, and so it's just my turn now.
Yeah.
This is why you said, "Wait, it's your turn next," and you cursed me.
Did I actually say that?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is my doing. Well, there's your story. I paved the uneven pavement that caused Kieran to trip and break his ankle.
You cast a witch curse on me.
It is.
How are we doing today? Other than broken ankles, of course.
Broken ankles? Well, I guess there's a bit of up. I mean, I guess it's been a while since I've been on, so
The last time you were on, I was in Ireland.
Were you?
Yeah, I remember recording the episode.
Actually, yeah, that's true. Yeah, wow. Okay, yeah, no, it has been a while. Was Jungle Rush even open at that point?
No, because
No.
No, probably not, because I rode Jungle Rush January, so
Yeah,
I was only like a month after it opened.
It was my birthday. That's right. We recorded on my birthday. Yes. Now I remember. Yeah, which would have been before. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. A lot has happened.
It is wild that we've been doing the podcast for this long.
That being said, we've had a couple of very long hiatuses.
Yeah, that's true. But is it any more of a hiatus than like a mid-season BBC TV series break?
Yeah,
I mean, a lot's happened. You've moved countries and started jobs and stuff, and
got a dog.
I believe two broken bones have happened in that period for Kieran, and
end of one season, the start of another.
Yeah, well, an entire season has been filmed. Yeah.
Yes.
Which that was a good fun little trip of ours. I say little.
Yeah.
3 very exhausting weeks. But very, very fun weeks, we should say.
Yeah.
Many
With the
memories.
lows come really good highs.
Oh yeah, I mean, and hey, even the lows, they're stories, aren't they?
Totally.
All the
I
weird.
hear there are some good stories though.
There are. God, I don't know where to start. I think one of the prior episodes there was a mention of my lost wallet, which was revealed in the season 2 trailer. Yes, my wallet decided to grow legs and leave me, depart me, and abandon me.
In the busiest train station in the Tokyo metropolitan network.
I don't know if it should be the busiest station. I don't think it's the busiest station, but it's the busiest intersection. It is one of the busiest stations. I thought Shinjuku
It's
was
Tokyo.
actually.
I feel like you can lay a claim. You can.
Anyway,
You don't have to be 100% accurate there. If it's a busy station in Tokyo, I think you can say 100% for sure it was a fucked situation.
Metropolitan area and one of the largest rail networks in the world. Yes.
Yes.
So either way, it was interesting, and I know you were saying, "Oh, Japan's probably the place to lose it," and that's true, I would say. But we did hit some roadblocks, and I ended up basically just saying, "Look, we're either going to spend the entire day chasing this, and we're going to lose out on things that we want to do." I luckily had planned a backup. It wasn't perfect. I still lost money. I think a total, there was a decent chunk of money and cards and IDs and stuff that were lost, and it did hinder our plans a little bit because we were thinking of potentially renting a car, and I was the only one that actually had an international driver's permit, and I needed my driver's license, like my actual Australian driver's license, to show if I were to rent a car, and obviously that went walkabout with my wallet. So that did put a spanner in the works, but look, I was carried a spare bank card with my passport, which I carried separately, and they luckily weren't lost, so I was able to travel mostly hiccup-free the rest of the way in terms of money. But yeah, it was weird when we lost, or when I lost it, because we got off, and then because you got to like tap out in the station.
Yeah.
So I went looking for my transport card, my like tap card to tap, and I was like, oh crap, where the hell's my wallet gone? So I suspect it fell out of my pocket or something on the train or when leaving the train. And yeah, I remember. Look, panic set in. That was not fun because you've lost quite a crucial item in a foreign country, and you're like, even if it is Japan and they're known for like not stealing things and returning things, it's like, oh crap, I've still lost it. And this was probably on our busiest day.
It was the day that we'd tried to fit the most stuff in. It was the most ambitious day.
It was, yeah. What we started that day? You started that day at the Cup Noodle Museum.
Yep.
Actually, no. You started it with a personal. Didn't you have a job interview? Actually,
was it that day?
I think you had a job interview. Then you did the Cup Noodle Museum.
Gosh, yeah.
Yeah, and then sorry, I don't know if you wanted me to reveal the job interview. Sorry. But no, then Cup Noodle Museum. Then we both went to. Was it straight to Joypolis we went?
Yep.
Yeah, which can I say? Tokyo Joypolis is a weird place.
Yeah.
And Gekion Live is such a weird coaster, and I love it so much. And we need. Actually, I don't think we need more of them in the world, but that coaster needs more appreciation.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. And I stacked it on the way there and ate total shit.
You did. That did happen. and then we decided to go to Shibuya, which is
1, 2, 3, Shibuya Division.
Yeah, I feel like we should supply context to that. The soundtrack, the onboard audio of like the
Geki on
rhythm
Live.
section of Geki on Live had this track that was like 1, 2, 3,
Shibuya Division.
and it was just this weird Japanese kind of camp rap thing.
It's like these boy bands doing a battle, and like, you know, they're divided up by suburbs.
Yeah, it was like the Shibuya, there was the Shinjuku, there was the
K-pop demon hunters? What's going on?
It was weird anime J-pop boy bands singing like rap, well, not rap battles, but like pop battles.
yeah.
I do have to. I am curious to hear all the stories from the trip, but before I forget, I do need to ask. And this is a total non sequitur. But have you seen K-pop Demon Hunters yet?
I have not actually.
I am aware of its existence. I haven't sat down. I haven't sat
existence.
down and watched it.
My God, it actually. The amount of times that I've begged, I think also on this podcast that I have begged for an original good film that could just take off and be the new fun thing. We're so sick of sequels, we're so sick of remakes. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen, K-pop Demon Hunters on Netflix. Go and watch it right now. Anyway, continue your stories.
I should. To be honest, I think the reason I didn't was because Squid Game Season 3 came out at the same time. And I think that's where I put my energy.
Oh, it's it's an animated film. It's only like 90 minutes long. It is 100% worth your time.
Also, it's a movie, not a TV series.
It is a movie, yes.
Oh, okay, that's easy.
And it's animated by the same animation team that did the Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, is it?
Okay.
Films. It's Sony Animation, but with Korean like creative team behind it. And it's a brilliant piece of work. You should go and watch it.
Interesting. No, I should. But yeah, no. So we then went to Shibuya. I found out I lost my wallet. I was like, oh crap. Had a bit of a freak out, which again I must apologize for, Kieran. I did not handle that very well.
We got through it.
We got through it, but we came to like sort of we spoke to like the train,
the ticket staffy person,
the JR East sort of train guard ticket office. I don't know what you call it, but
and basically we had to get it so that I could pay for your tap off with my card.
Yeah, before he even wanted to help us, like he was sort of just saying. And then
because Heidi couldn't tap off to get out of the barricades without
obviously my
the card.
My card had gone with the with my wallet. So you had to pay to get me out, but I know there was a lot of stuff like the language barrier.
Yeah,
that got in the way.
Having to ask questions through Google Translate, that kind of thing.
Especially in a bit of a blind panic. But with I found it odd because I know it was basically just like, I'll call a number, and it's like, well, what do we do if both of our SIM cards are data only and no numbers? Like, we have no way of ringing out. And there was just sort of no help. It was just sort of like, I don't even think we got a response to that question, if I remember.
No, it was just like, call the number. Like, and then we'd be like, we're data only, we can't do that. And to which they were saying, just call the number.
Yeah. So then we were like, okay, well, let's try and find a payphone or something. So we paid, we went through, we went up out into Shibuya to the like crazy crosswalk. And we see like a police box. And yeah, similar thing. We go in there, ask questions on our phone, being like, hey, lost wallet. I've got a description of it here. It was lost 10, 15 minutes ago, whatever. we've been given this number. Do you guys have a phone that we could use? And they were sort of just saying, oh, we don't have it here. Nobody's reported it. Again, ring the number, but then it was just a lot of back and forth on like, can we use your phone? Do you have a phone that we can use?
And then they were like, oh, you need to put a report in at a police station. And we were like, isn't this a police station?
And what they said, and what my understanding was she was basically saying, go check another police box. Go check every other police box. And it's like, I looked it up and there's over 800 police boxes in Tokyo. And it's like, are you asking me to go check every 800, like each 800 police boxes?
So it felt like a lot of deferral of responsibility.
It felt very much like, not our problem. So we were like, okay. After probably about asking 3 or 4 times, hey, do you have a phone that we can use? Which again, I get it's through phones and language barriers, and it makes it hard. But they ended up pointing us to a payphone, which didn't work. And it was at that point that I think we'd spent about an hour since about losing it, and we had so much planned that day that I just called it. I was just like, look, I could probably get it back because yes, it is Japan. But I'm like, if we're just going to get the same pushback of kind of not my problem, ring, like, because it's not even like I could ask them to ring the number for me. Like, they weren't willing to do that, or I wasn't even able to use their phone. And I just kind of went, okay, this payphone's not working. Like I borrowed cash from you, and it just didn't go through. Like, it just wouldn't accept the cash. So I was just like, okay, cool. I have my backup. It would be lovely to have my driver's license. That was the main thing that I was worried about. Like, I still had my passport, so I wasn't stuck in the country. Which, oh, look, if I'd lost my passport, holy crap, because I don't know how the whole Korea thing would have been a disaster. But yeah, that was just it felt very, I don't know if it was a language barrier thing, but I think we both translated the same sentence and it seemed like it came out very much the same way both the times. So I don't know if it was the translator that we were using that was inaccurate, but they eventually seemed to get the question, but it just sort of seemed like they didn't want to deal with it because it seemed difficult because we don't speak the language.
Yeah.
That's at least how it felt to me. And that's, I get it, but I don't know. I'd always try to help. I've helped people that have been lost on the street that don't speak English, and it's like, I will do my best, and I've used phone translators here in Australia to try and help.
I will say, in the heat of the moment when you're on shift where you're working, it can be a little bit like in my experience with working at theme parks, where you come across a tourist who doesn't speak very, very much English. It can be a little bit heat of the moment. Like, I want to help you kind of quickly, but I don't really know how because I don't understand quite what you're saying, and it can be a little bit. Yeah, it's a bit. You know, you want to help, but you don't understand how to help, and so it just becomes a bit of like a just go to this place.
Yeah, I get that, but yeah, it was still a little frustrating. But
and on top of the fact that you'd already sprained your ankle at this point.
That was, because that happened. I still don't fully know how that happened. Honestly, I think it was. It's going to sound really embarrassing, but I think it was basically due to a train pulling up whilst I was standing and me not being ready and my ankle sort of rolling as the train pulled into a station.
Oh, that's easy to do, though. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's how it happened. It happened on the second day. So yeah, I had to be little Miss Hop-Along because I had to nurse a sprained ankle most of the trip. But
oh my god.
And then the wallet came. But yeah, no, so I think I just made the call. Let's just call it. I have my backup. Let's not have it interrupt any more our day. Because then beyond that, you did the crosswalk. I think I was still a bit too in my head. and I was helping you doing some filming. But I didn't end up watching. I didn't end up crossing the crosswalk, which is a little bit of a disappointment. But I still saw it and still got to see the whole square and everything.
My dog has just gone full man spread. He
Hell
is
yes.
on his back, legs wide open, airing those testes. Which he doesn't have any of, by the way.
Airing those metaphorical testes.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was a bit of a like I don't have anything against the people, like they were probably trying to do their best. It's just it was frustrating being on the other end.
Yeah.
And obviously because it's like wallet and then it spiraled. That's why I called it, because I was worried about it spiraling into we're going to chase this for the next 5 hours and we might not be any closer.
Yeah.
So I was like, I have my backup. Cool. I'm just going with the backup. It sucks, but I'm going with it.
And then we managed to fit 4 other things in after that.
Harajuku.
So we did Shibuya.
We finished at Shibuya. Then we went to Harajuku for the Bear Paw Cafe, which you really wanted to do. Yeah. Which was pretty cute. Yeah. I do have to say. Not that I didn't get a drink or anything, but it was pretty cute.
Then we got in an Uber to Tokyo Dome City.
Went 2 hours at Tokyo Dome City. No, about 3 hours, because we got there about 5 and closed at 8, didn't it?
Yeah, and in that time we managed to do Thunder Dolphin,
2 laps on
Panic Coaster back down. We got in a ride on the karaoke Ferris wheel, and then because we both wanted to do 2 separate things, you went to do the log flume and I went to do the walk through haunted house.
Which the log flume, considering that won't be in the video, any of the videos, that log flume is an odd one. It's essentially just got like a bungee cord for a restraint. It's got no anti-rollbacks. It's got a turntable, and then it's got like a 3-story drop that absolutely soaks you. And it weaves through like a mall, which is odd. Which is pretty cool. And it has some pretty tacky lighting.
The haunted house was surprisingly good for something that didn't have live scare actors in it.
Yeah, that sounded curious. That sounded interesting, because I haven't done a scare house without actors.
It was done by like some clever like digital screens, some puppetry, great sound design and lighting. And there were points where it legitimately got me.
Also, that's another thing I have to apologize for. I did end up abandoning.
That's right.
Hospital by himself.
Sorry, we cut out there.
There's some good ones in Europe that don't have any actors in them, that are very animatronic focused. They're worth checking out, because there's a couple of them that got me as well, which I was rather embarrassed about.
That's interesting. Yeah, no, I ended up also, speaking of scare mazes, I also ended up abandoning Kieran to get murdered in a haunted hospital by himself, because I'm a good friend like that.
It was like this giant haunted hospital scare maze in the middle of Fuji-Q Highland. That's like warnings all out the front of it saying this is an intense attraction. And we get in there and there's a pre-show, and you noped right the fuck out of the pre-show and left me on my own.
Oh God.
I'm going to get another ride on Zocon, thank you very much.
But I will say this. It was an incredible haunted house.
I knew going in, it had a really good reputation. And it's like, what, a 40-minute experience or something?
I'd say it was 20 minutes. But I went through it at pace because I was on my own.
Whoops. But yeah, what else did we do the day? So then, we did Tokyo Dome City. Then we did Skytree.
And when I had my panic moments.
Yep. Which I took over and did a lot of the filming for that. I think I did all the filming, actually.
Yeah.
For Skytree, which we were there for about 2 hours because it closed at 10. We were there when we got kicked out. And do you know something I was surprised about? When we left Skytree, guess what we saw a sign for?
What?
Sizzler. There's freaking Sizzler in Japan. And I was disappointed. I was like, damn, I want to do Japanese Sizzler, but it was at 10 p.m. at night. I'm like, they're surely closed. And we also had to go to Shinjuku.
Yeah, because I wanted to get some footage there and
Yeah,
also experience Shinjuku and see the giant Godzilla statue on top of the hotel gracery.
Oh, it was worth it. But we didn't get back to the hotel till like 1 or 2 in the morning because
I think we had to hot foot it to get there.
That's right. Because we got the last train back because we were staying in Yokohama. So.
And I learned the hard way a couple of nights before that the trains shut down after a certain hour, and a Uber to Yokohama is a couple of $100.
Yeah, Ubers are pricey. Because I paid for an Uber for us from Osaka to Kansai Airport, from our hotel in basically downtown Osaka, and I think that was like $200.
Whereas conversely, in Korea, they are cheap as chips.
They were so cheap. Transport in Korea is the cheapest thing I've ever.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not the cheapest thing I've ever experienced.
I
Obviously,
do
but it's
remember
so
my
cheap.
transport in
we
Korea.
put all this money. We put all this money on our Team Money cards, and I think I used it once purely because I had a spare day and decided I'm just going to get on a train.
Well, I caught up. Like Maloney and I caught up recently in person, and I think I actually offered you my Team Money card, being like, "Are you going to Korea anytime soon? I've got a Team Money card, $100 on it."
Unfortunately, I don't have a trip to Korea planned anytime soon. I have you know what? I'll spoil it because we only have 30 odd people that subscribe to Total Bearloni, so they'll get the inside scoop.
It's like Patreon without a paid membership.
Without the paid membership, exactly. My next trip is going to be a trip where I am going to go to the random coaster that appears on RCDB. So if you go into rcdb.com, obviously it comes up with a random coaster.
Yeah.
But I did need some time to plan and prepare that. So I have already filmed the sequence where we go onto RCDB and see what the random coaster is. And so that I've just got like a month or two to kind of prepare and book the flights and everything. And it is China. I'm going to China.
Oh, nice.
That should be great.
Be November. I'm going to Shanghai. But yeah, so that has confirmed that I am not going to Korea anytime soon. So unfortunately, I can't make use of the tons of money that you had planned for public transport that didn't need to be used.
And their metro system is very nice.
Oh, it's lovely, isn't it?
But we just barely used it.
Yeah.
Because the other thing was we stuck to Ubers mostly because of my ankle. Because it was just easier just to go direct, and the
Ubers were just so affordable.
I will say, Korea's
more money because
Korea's metro though is fantastic. You can go almost anywhere. It's so dense in terms of the number of lines and stuff. You can go almost anywhere with a train and a short walk, with a change or two. It's so good.
One thing we were told when we were before Korea was that Google's not going to work, Uber's not going to work, Google Maps and stuff's not going to work. They worked perfectly fine, both of them.
Yeah,
really. Google Maps didn't work for me.
Google Maps worked perfectly fine for us.
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, it was more reliable than all their Naver maps. Their Naver map stuff barely wanted to load. It was really slow.
Because when I went in 2023, I was actually told by the tour guide when I got there that oh yeah, Google Maps doesn't work because South Korea doesn't want foreign companies getting satellite imagery of it, for security reasons. Which, when you've got a neighbor like they do, fair enough. So I downloaded, I forget what what it was called. Like there,
Naver maps.
it might have been that one. Yeah,
That's what we had downloaded to prepare.
yeah.
And the Naver Translate app, which was, oh my god, that's another story.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking
Whatever
about?
it was,
Yep.
whatever Maps app I downloaded for the Korea trip worked fine. But I do remember trying to use Google Maps once, and it just kind of it loaded, but like the map just kind of wasn't there.
That's what Naver Maps was like for us.
Yeah, it was, because it was showing us. I know when we went from Busan to Gyeongju, it was showing us a later train, but
Oh,
Google showed us a train that Naver didn't, that was earlier and got us there way earlier, which allowed us to do another half day of Gyeongju World.
there you go.
Yeah.
No, I got.
I'm so
got no
grateful
Google.
that because we had planned on catching, what was it, like a train directly from Gyeongju to, I think it was Yongin, and they said, oh, sorry, you've missed this one, and this one's booked out, so the nearest one you can get is like 6 p.m. And so we just went, okay, so we'll get that. And then 5 minutes later, we were like, what if we just catch a train to Seoul and then go from Seoul to Yongin? And they said, oh yeah, you can do that. That comes in half an hour.
Yeah.
And so we exchanged our tickets for that.
Yeah.
And
like from Seoul Station to Yongin, to our hotel in Yongin. And that was like, what, $30? Even though it was like an hour-long Uber?
it was wild. And so we ended up getting pretty much a full day in Everland that day anyway.
Yeah, we didn't go again, and that was our full day at Everland, pretty much. Which Everland's a weird park.
Mm.
I have very mixed feelings on Everland.
Understandably, because you were walking around, hobbling around, and there are so many steep hills and stairs.
Not just the hills, but like it feels like I am surprised that has the largest crowd pool of any Korean park. That's sort of the thing that made me curious, because I'm like, this park to me does not seem like the premier pride of Korea park.
Well, to me, Gyeongju World was the
100%.
obvious one.
Exactly, Gyeongju World is amazing.
I
That was
love
my favorite park in Korea.
that you guys say that because, and obviously I had a very different experience of Korea to you guys because I went first of all in winter, which was
Right.
not so much a mistake, but more of like I only went because I wanted to go overseas and the flights were cheap. So I just took advantage of like a deal.
Yeah.
So I kind of knew that I was going to miss out on a lot of things. But my experience of Gyeongju World, obviously pre-Skull and Hearty, and no, actually, yeah, everything else was there. That is there. Oh, not the new Ferris wheel that they've got.
Just the wheel. Well, that wasn't open for us. We saw it getting built, but it wasn't open for us when we were there.
Yeah.
So obviously, I didn't see that, and Skull and Hearty was not a thing yet. But I had the worst day there because everything. It was cold, obviously, but it was like drizzling just the slightest bit. Kind of, you know, that really thin, misty kind of drizzle you get sometimes on cold days?
Yeah.
Like that kind of weather. And everything was closed, including everything indoor, including everything.
Oh.
I managed to get early in the day when it had not kind of started drizzling or anything yet. I managed to get the old powered coaster credit that they used to have, which is now gone. But the B&M's never opened. Valkyrie never opened.
So you didn't get Valkyrie? I thought you did.
No, never opened. None of the big rides ever opened. The only things that opened in the morning were like a bunch of the kids' rides, and then they closed. They promptly closed as soon as that drizzle started.
I will say it's not a perfect park.
No.
But no, I don't necessarily take it as a judgment of the entire park. More as I wonder why that policy is so strict, and also just sheer disappointment because I traveled a long way across Korea to try and get those credits.
Yeah.
Totally understandable.
Hmm.
But yeah, I will say the park has a lot of graffiti, especially in the queue lines.
Oh
Mm.
yeah. It's
That was my
wild.
biggest probably disappointment with the park.
It's like everyone's favorite pastime is scratching shit into the walls.
Yeah, when I say there's lots of graffiti in the queue lines, like these are really like fairly nicely themed queue lines, and they are like, I mean, every single surface has graffiti. Like there, it is more graffiti than it is theming, and
Jesus.
that's really disappointing. Um,
You know the other thing that I
that's
regret about Korea, and there's no credits there, but I did a tour of the DMZ,
Okay.
and
okay.
just inside the DMZ, on the south side of the DMZ, but still inside like the neutral zone, there is a park. And it has like a pirate ship and a bunch of other flat rides. I think a log flume, just one of those transportable log flume kind of style things. It was there, and I looked at it and went, "Oh, that's cool." But I was on a tour, like a guided
Yeah.
tour, and I was kind of like, yeah, I'm kind of more interested in, the whole seeing over into North Korea and like the history kind of element of it." And so I just followed along with the tour. But I just remember looking over at that park and being like, I could say that I've been on a flat ride on the border of North Korea.
That would be cool. I was toying up whether or not to do the DMC in my last day. I ultimately decided not to.
It's a lot, I will say.
My-
And I say that as someone who's been to like the Hiroshima Museum and the Vietnam War Museum and that sort of thing. I'd say the DMZ is one of the most like just it really doing a tour of that place really gets you down.
It's confronting.
It's very confronting and it's very demoralizing. It's like, fuck, here we are in 2020. Well, I did it in 2023. Here we are in 2023, and there's still shit like this. Like it's very yeah.
Yeah.
There's
That's
people
a big reason why I decided not to do the Hiroshima do Hiroshima on my spare day, and I switched it to Kyoto at the last minute.
Yeah.
Hiroshima is very raw. Hiroshima made me cry. The DMZ didn't make me cry, but the DMZ did make me like. Obviously, it is much more real because it's happening now, not 70 years ago. So it's like
that was the thing, is because it's a current war. If it was like a Vietnam War memorial or something, I would probably go, But because it's a current thing, it's feeling like I'm being a tourist of war.
yeah.
Current war, and that's where I shied away from it, because I'm like, am I making
Is this
a
trauma
current
tourism?
war? Yeah, is it trauma tourism? And that's what I felt odd about. I'm like, if it ends and it like, maybe it's something you do in 50 years when it's maybe more stable. I don't know. That's probably very hopeful thinking, but
I don't regret doing it, but I will say it was a very confronting thing to do. Like, for example, when you cross over the actual initial part from South Korea into the south side of the DMZ, you get a military person come onto your tour bus and check your passport. Like, as in a full-on person in military gear with a semi-automatic rifle.
Shit.
Like, it feels very real all of a sudden. Like, for all of the, talking that I've done about North and South Korea, and for all that I've like heard about the Korean War and about how they don't like each other and all that I've seen in the news, you get there and you realize this is an ongoing war. This is real.
Yeah.
And like there's the real threat of, I'm showing my passport here because if I do the wrong thing, they're going to hunt me down and shoot me because they think I'm a spy or something. Like, it's real. It's very real.
Yeah.
I just want to ride my silly little roller coaster.
I was just there for roller coasters. I don't know. I don't regret doing that tour. It was great. It was very interesting. The lady who was the tour guide was very knowledgeable and fascinating, and I do not regret kind of confronting myself with those realities, but at the same time, it was very, it's a frightening thing to see in real life.
If I'm ever if I ever get to Energylandia, I'm taking a day off to do Auschwitz.
Yeah, I'll do that too.
Yeah, that's something where it's like, because it's like something that's happened in the past. I don't feel like I'm as I don't know. I think complicit's not the right word, but you know what I mean. Like it feels.
It's not something that you would include as vlog material.
Yeah. No, I would never have vlogged the DMZ if I was YouTubing at that time. I did the Hiroshima Peace Museum, and it is brutal. That's probably
I did.
It made me cry like I've never cried before.
So instead of going to the DMZ, I actually visited a couple memorials. So I visited a memorial for the Sampung disaster.
Oh, the department store collapse.
Oh yeah,
store collapse that killed like 600 people in the mid-90s. So I actually went to the memorial for that. Which that almost brought a tear to my eye. That was quite. Yeah, it's quite interesting to see 600 or 500 names laid out, basically due to corporate greed. And it's like, oh, yeah, that hit. And yeah, there was a few. There was actually, it was like in a memorial park. It wasn't actually at the side of the mall, but it was at a memorial park in Gangnam, and there was a couple other memorials for a few like terrorist bombings and stuff between the north and south, So I wouldn't say I was completely isolated from that. There was a few things for like some North Korean extremists like put up a plane in the 80s, South Korean Airlines plane, and a few things that were quite hard hitting.
There's a place they take you on the DMZ tour that is a bridge, or like the remnants of a bridge, and it's it used to be one of the most common thoroughfares of defectors from the north to the south, because of basically there was this like threat of, if you don't stop defectors from coming into South Korea, then it's basically like an act of, we'll consider it an act of war. We'll fight you for taking on our these traitors that are going against us. So they blew up the bridge because they were left with this stark choice of, do we give these people refuge, or do we risk war breaking out?
Yeah.
So they blew up the bridge, and it's this, the remnants of it is still there, and you just kind of look at it like, all these people escaped through that. There probably would be still people escaping over that bridge today if it's
wild.
Yeah, that border has been so tense. Some of the stories I've heard from
and there's like tunnels underneath that were dug by spies, and it's a crazy place.
It's probably something that I might entertain if I go back to Korea, which I think I will at some point. It's just it's a matter of when.
It's having not been to the DMZ. My most harrowing experience in Korea was probably Black Hole 2000.
Yeah.
I hear you guys didn't get on Columbia Double Loop either.
Yeah, it was closed.
I don't think it's ever open anymore.
No, it is. So I spoke to someone who actually went a couple of weeks after we did, who went and rode Columbia Double Loop. Apparently, Soul Land operates only one of them at a time. They go, we don't need to. We'll coasters
Those bitches.
open at one time. So basically, to cut down on maintenance, they'll only run one of them at a time.
Okay,
So you'll either get Black Hole 2000 or you'll get Columbia double looping.
I can't be too rude to them though, because by the looks of the crowds that were there on the day I was there,
Yeah,
and the maintenance of a lot of the rides, it looks like they are kind of getting by on a
they're on a bit
shoestring
of a shoestring.
budget. So I can't really shit talk them too much, but still.
I actually have a bit of a soft spot, weirdly, for Black Hole 2000.
No.
Not really. I don't like it.
I have
I'm
a
not...
soft spot for Crazy Mouse.
There's a difference between a soft spot and a bruise on the brain.
I have a soft spot for Crazy Mouse because I feel like it's stupid and it's dumb and it's bad, but it didn't hurt me. Whereas Black Hole 2000 physically hurt me.
Oh, it's like being in a hydraulic press.
Yeah.
It's horrendous. But what I love about it is it kind of seems like the pride of the park.
Do you really love it, or is that Stockholm syndrome?
I think that might be Stockholm syndrome. Because there's so much else to love about that park. I really think, and I genuinely saying this, even though almost everything they have is absolute arse.
Except you can't pay with foreign currency at the California Pizza Kitchen.
Everything, there's so much to love about that park, though. It's actually a really nice park.
That's quite pretty, I agree. But no, what I'm getting at is, compared to Motor Coaster, which they both fight it out for my lowest spot, is Soulland kind of takes pride in Black Hole 2000, whereas I feel
incorrectly
Dreamworld just
so.
is like, well, yeah, but I kind of find that weirdly endearing. They're like, we have this horrible like we it's the ugly duckling that they still love, whereas Dreamworld's ugly duckling, they don't really give a crap about.
I prefer Crazy Mouse any day. Because Crazy Mouse, I will objectively say, look at this thing. It is shit. But for some reason, I just really fucking love it. Because it's just so...
I prefer Crazy Mouse as well.
It's just so stupid that I have to love it.
I'm just saying I like Black Hole 2000 over Motor Coaster because it's weirdly loved by the park.
Let me have a look at my current rankings. Let me see what I've most recently said on my rankings.
One of my favorite memories of the trip is marathoning Draken in the final hours of our second day at Gyeongju World.
It was so good. That was so...
You know, I'm just looking at my rankings right now. Do you know out of the 162 coasters I've ridden, I've only ranked 4 of them as S tier world class?
Oh.
There's only 4 of them that because I've got a ranking, a tier system as well as my rankings. So like S is world class, A is great, B is good, C is neutral, D is bad, E is awful, F is tear it down.
I'm pretty sure I know your top 4, so...
What are my top 4?
Voltron?
Yep.
Tutatis?
Yep.
Rivals?
Yep.
Hyperia.
Yes, correct. I thought you may mix up Hyperia and Wrath of Zeus.
Is Wrath of Zeus your 5th?
Wrath of Zeus is 5th, yes.
Oh, wow, okay.
It is...
I thought
it is my highest that is in the A tier.
No, I thought Fianna Force was...
Inner Force is my 12th.
Oh, wow.
I have... There's a few rides that I have real personal soft spots for that I've just had to force myself to face realities about. Like, you may have a real soft spot for this, but like if you rank it objectively, it's not as good. I think the main problem with Fianna Force is its length. It is quite short.
Oh, okay.
But God, I love that thing. If I was ranking them purely on like my personal love for them, despite the fact that a lot of that love comes from the fact that I operated it, then it would be in the top 5, 100%. I love that thing. Black Hole 2000 is ranked 159 out of 162, so it is literally one spot above Motor Coaster.
Yep.
I'd put it above Motor Coaster.
It is just above Motor Coaster.
No, sorry, below Motor Coaster.
Oh, really? Below Motor Coaster?
Yeah, because Motor Coaster, once you're in, the restraints don't get any tighter, and Black Hole 2000's restraints progressively get tighter with every bit of force that you go through.
See, that's the body shape difference. Is that I didn't have the problem with Black Hole 2000's restraints getting tighter. I had the problem with them being hard. So every single awful transition, because it's designed terribly, was like getting hit by a baseball bat.
Yeah, well, that's what it was like for us. But every single of those awful transitions, every jostle, every rattle, it would make the restraint ratchet in even tighter and tighter.
Okay.
Sort of like how Sledgehammer does at Luna Park.
Yeah, okay. See, I guess with my skinniness, I didn't have that problem, but I still do hate it. It did feel like it was beating me with a baseball bat. Whereas Motor Coaster, I suppose because of my long legs, I feel like it kind of just constantly tortures me, even in its good moments.
Well, I'm the same. Motor Coaster is torture, as you could see in your live stream from earlier this year. But no, the reason I put Black Hole 2000 above Motor Coaster is partly because it feels it A is better presented. B,
okay,
it's actually got forces.
It
actually kind of does something.
Both pretty shittily presented.
Yeah, they're not great, but it's better. It's better than Motor Coaster. Motor Coaster looks like it's abandoned. In a way, whereas
when I went on Black Hole 2000, it kind of looked a little bit like it was abandoned too.
Oh, I'm not saying it was pretty, but it was not.
The only things I've put below Motor Coaster so far are Hero and Toboggan.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't know if you've been on a Zamperla Volare yet.
No, I don't think either of us have been.
No.
I don't know. I don't know when I'll get on one. I don't know if I ever will.
Our closest one is Malaysia, but other than that, I don't think there's any outside of Europe or America.
I can't do Malaysia.
Yes. I don't think there's any outside of. Well, I don't know what the traveling circuit looks like. I'm far less educated on that.
True.
But in terms of permanent ones, other than the one in Malaysia, I don't think there's any outside of Europe and America.
Yeah, I don't think there is either. Yeah, I don't know. I do kind of want to experience the pain of one, just for.
It's also like
shigs.
Pain as like just outright
torture,
stupidness. Like it's
stupid.
It's imagine you've been on a flying coaster, right?
Yeah. I've been on flyers.
Yeah. So imagine that, but none of the forces are absorbed at all, and you're just basically in a metal box.
Yeah, that does not sound fun.
Like it's just stupid.
Well, imagine it doesn't pull the forces of something like Flying Dinosaur.
Oh, it doesn't pull like those kind of positives, no, but like those same kind of like when you pull positives, you're on your tummy, and when you do inversions, you're on your back, that kind of thing. That, but in a lying down position in something that's essentially unpadded and like just a metal box, really.
Yeah. No, didn't they? Well, hang on. Isn't there also the Volare in North Korea?
Oh yes, of course there is one in North Korea, but I doubt that you're going to get there either.
No, that's probably no. But there is also that one.
I would say you're more likely to get to Malaysia than to North Korea.
Great. But speaking of Zamperlas in Korea, They're building. There's a family thrill Zamperla going to Lotte World.
Now,
On
hang
the
on.
island.
Are we talking Lotte World Seoul or Busan?
Because Busan is also apparently getting a thrill coaster, but the manufacturer is not yet determined.
I have heard things. I've heard rumors about the one going to Busan. I have heard it is also a Zamperla.
Zamperla is rumored.
It is called Giant Revolution. It is opening 2026.
Of course, there's a giant in front of it.
Yeah, because of course
Giant.
they've got to stick with their theme. It is apparently opening in 2026, and I've heard rumors.
Wow.
I initially thought with the name, because their two big coasters so far have both been marks. I initially thought, oh, hang on, this is really exciting because this could be an extreme spinner. Because Giant Revolution Park clearly has an affinity for mark rides. I really thought maybe this is a mark extreme spinner, but
That's just no plot of land though.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was wishful thinking. I was like, I like mark rides. Their next ride is called Giant Revolution. Who knows? But apparently,
well, Revolution to me makes me think multi-lap.
Well, yeah, but I thought, there's a history of Korean being mistranslated, and it wouldn't exactly even be a mistranslation to say revolution when it comes to a spinning coaster. It's not quite like, the first thing that would come to mind, but it's correct. So I initially thought, hang on, Giant Revolution, and this park has its only major coasters so far are both mark rides. Hell yeah, we might be getting an extreme spinner in Asia. But no, apparently the rumor at the moment is Zamperla, and it may be a launch coaster of the, I don't know if it was them that did the like the double heart.
It's the Zamperla, yeah.
Yeah, the double heart kind of style. Apparently that's the rumor at the moment.
Apparently there's a Zamperla thrill coaster going to Seoul as well, to Lotte World Seoul, on the island above Common Express, which we actually saw work being done there when we went.
Yeah, okay. So if Zamperla is working there, then I would suspect that Zamperla is probably also working on the one at Busan.
Exactly, and Zamperla has built a thrill coaster in Korea before.
Yes, of course, at Robotland. So,
which we didn't get to, sadly.
Yeah, I didn't get to Robotland either, mainly because of my own poor planning. Because my plan was to do. I was staying in Seoul for the whole time that I was in Korea, and then I was just going to do an out and back kind of multi-day trip to the East Coast.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't realize that Robotland is actually quite far from any of the high-speed rail stations.
Yeah.
So I as I was catching the high-speed rail from Seoul to Busan, I was actually on that train to Busan that I realized
there's a film in that.
There is a film called Train to Busan, yes. But it was actually
delightful little romp that.
It was actually while I was on that train from Seoul to Busan, and I was kind of planning out my next couple of days, that I went, oh shit, I don't really think I can get to Robotland in any kind of reasonable amount of time. So
oh my god,
ended up shortening that trip and just doing the Lotte World and Gyeongju World. But yes. I'm looking forward to going to China, actually.
That should be fun.
I've got so for those who will watch the video later, the coaster that showed up as our random coaster on RCDB, and here's the behind the scenes insight. It was actually our second take, because the first one that showed up was a coaster in Cambodia that was defunct. So obviously if it's defunct, I can't do it. So we
That's not
we did a second take, and we got is it Clouds of Fairyland or something like that? The Maura Skyloop that's at Joyland.
Okay. Is it actually a Maura Skyloop or one of the
It is actually a Maura Skyloop. It's not a Chinese knockoff. So I got the Maura Skyloop at Joyland. So I'm going to Joyland, which, obviously the goal of the video will be to get on the Maura Skyloop, because that's the point of the video. But I am so keen for Starry Sky Ripper.
Yeah, that looks pretty cool. I've heard good things about it.
But then I figured, because I was going to book a week at wherever I ended up going, regardless, just for either for like admin purposes, if it was a complicated place to get to, or like just to give myself a buffer if I ended up with a park that was like far from a major city or something like that. So now I'm ending up with a week in Shanghai. So I'm also going to go to China Dinosaur Park and Suzhou Amusement Land Forest World and Happy Valley Shanghai, Disneyland Shanghai, Shanghai Haichang Ocean Park.
Nice.
I'm actually really keen to get into some Chinese parks.
Isn't there a coaster in the Oriental Pearl Tower?
There is, yes.
Are you going to do that?
Probably,
that would be cool.
Probably. I do have a sightseeing day set aside that I will probably go and see the Oriental Pearl Tower, so I imagine might as well go in there and get the credit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always fun when you're like, oh yeah, let's just we're here, we may as well do the credit. I think that's basically what you ended up doing with.
I want to remind us all that this episode was supposed to be us reviewing parks that we'd been to that most other people hadn't. This has now reminded me.
Oh yeah.
That part of the reason that I went to Seoul Grand Children's Park was that I was just in Seoul and doing a coaster trip, and I was like, oh my god, I'm in like this big major Asian city. I probably should check coast to coaster to see what's around, because there's probably a bunch of random credits. Yeah. Oh no, it's actually a modern SFC.
Because we were looking at that as a maybe.
I still wouldn't recommend it. It's not a. It is one of the more modern SFCs. It's 2014. It hasn't been maintained particularly well.
Right.
Right.
So it wasn't great, but cute little park. The whole area around it's really worth looking around and checking out. There's a zoo there that I would probably not have gone to if I had realized how shitty it would be, because I felt really bad for all the animals.
Yeah, I had a very similar experience to that in Japan.
Yeah, I went there and kind of went, oh fuck, I wish I hadn't given them my money. But the amusement park, it's small but like charming.
Yeah, that's cool. I think a lot of the parks in Korea, at least the ones that we did, I think they have a lot of charm.
It's
like,
for what it was, it seemed like something that was like run on a very small budget. A couple flat rides, a log flume, and a coaster. Like that was basically it.
But Soul Land was just confusing to me. That's the one I'm talking about. Who is this park for?
Yeah. Did you do what else did you do at Soul Land besides the coasters?
We did the credits.
We admittedly didn't do much because a lot of stuff was closed.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm annoyed. I love my drop towers, and there were so many drop towers shut on our trip because it was raining when we went to Lotte World. So the drop tower at Lotte World was closed. The one at Gyeongju World was closed for maintenance. The one at obviously the old first gen Intamin drop tower at Himeji Central Park was SBNO.
Yeah.
I skipped out on the SNS launch tower at Brazilian Park with Shoes and Highland, which I do want to talk about
was
later.
the one at Solland closed for you too?
Yeah, it was.
Jesus, I was, I had this little pang of jealousy that you were going to Solland because I was like, oh, like my only regret from that park is that I didn't get the drop tower or Columbia double loop. And it
well, we did neither of either.
Turns out neither did you.
We didn't even go on the log flume because I think we just run out of steam by that point.
I didn't go on the log flume because I was fucking freezing cold. But it did look really nice. How many of the flat rides did you go on?
At Solland?
Yeah.
I don't think we went on any.
We just did the credits, honestly, but we just wandered around the park and sort of got the vibe.
Because the flat ride collection was the hero of that park. Like there was a really solid flat ride collection, a slightly bizarre collection of dark rides and walkthroughs, and then just overall the park was very beautiful as well.
It's a very pretty park, but yeah, we were just so drained at this point, and like it was also like just full of like little kids.
It was like
we were just
school groups.
Yeah.
Mm.
And we were just like,
okay,
we sort of couldn't be bothered.
Tiki Talk Train is evil.
Tiki Talk Train is great. I love.
I get mixed up between Tiki Talk and Tobot.
Tiki Talk is the wacky worm style thing, and then the Tobot is the Zamperla powered coaster.
Oh, Tiki Talk was surprisingly violent.
That's what I loved about it. And to be fair, I say loved as in it is still near the bottom of my rankings. But I just had this bizarre love for it because
it surprised the crap out of us.
It was so surprisingly aggressive.
It's like, oh, you're going to ride a kiddie. Oh, yep, now you're being murdered.
Which, for a kiddie coaster, I love. Like, if you're going to be a kiddie coaster, murder me.
Yeah. I will say, I only felt like I was going to die on one coaster the whole trip, which I think is pretty good.
Which one? Black Hole 2000?
No, not Black Hole 2000. I wish I was going to die. What do you think
T-Express?
Not T-Express. No. I mean, look, I was maybe a bit harsh on T-Express. That airtime hill, the first drop in airtime hill is like the best airtime I have ever experienced. That
ride photo of you on the last go round is still one of the funniest things I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah. It's an interesting one, we'll be honest, yeah. I know, you very much was like, buy it, it's funny as hell.
Because I've got the cheeriest looking look on my face, and you look like...
I look like I'm being dragged into the depths of hell. Yeah,
the biggest dichotomy of our reactions.
I know we wanted to talk about like reviewing. Yeah, you said the review parks that not many other people had been to.
Yes,
I'm going to throw my hat in the ring.
Let's spend the second hour of this podcast doing that because that's what we promised the listeners last time. Let's just do one.
Yeah.
One park each that most people would not have been to.
Well, I will start because I want to talk about this park anyway because it won't be in season 2 because like I did Sea Paradise separate to Kieran, so my experience of Sea Paradise won't be in there, but obviously Sea Paradise will be. But one park that entirely won't be in season 2 because I experienced it by myself was Brazilian Park with Shoes and Highland, which there is a story about that. The whole thing because I had a sprained ankle. I mean, this can actually go.
Hello,
you've cut
out there.
Oh, properly
cut out.
Yep, I'm back. Sorry.
Okay.
technical issues.
Take it away.
Yes, take it away. So this can be wrapped. This story can be wrapped into the review because it was the second last day in Japan before we went to Korea that I went to Brazilian Park. We were staying in Osaka. I got a Shinkansen down to Okayama and then a local train down to a town called Kojima, which is right near where Brazilian Park is, which is apparently the home of the Japanese jean making industry. So like everything was like covered in denim, like the entire train station, like the steps in the train station were denim, like they were like,
Oh
like they
yeah.
weren't actual denim, but they were like they were like stickers to make it look like denim, and it was like "Welcome to Jean City." It was quite odd, but anyway, I get
I'll
in it
meet you at the Jane, Jason.
because it was my second last day. I had tried to make sure that I was a bit lean on cash, and other than Nagashima, I hadn't really run into any cash only things. Like we were told, oh yeah, there's going to be a lot of cash only, and especially Nagashima, which it was. But I hadn't heard anything about Brazilian Wishes and Highland, so got in a cab, took like I think it's a 4 kilometer trip up the mountain to the park. Now I get to the top of the park, I get to the entrance, and I go to pay for my ticket, and I figured I had been doing tap and pay or my card, and it had worked everywhere, so I figured that would work. Nope, cash only. I was like, oh, okay, cash only for my ticket. Damn. Which actually, I don't even think at Nagashima we could still pay. The one thing in Nagashima that wasn't cash only was the ticket. You could actually pay card for ticket at Nagashima, but even at Wishusen, everything was cash. So I was like, crap. Now, one thing to know about Japan, they love their toll roads. So the road all the way up to Wishusen Highland is a toll road, which means taxis won't freely go up there. And because I was in a fairly rural part, Uber didn't work. Now, I could have used Go Taxi. Can't use Go Taxi because you need a Japanese phone number, which we'd already established we didn't have. So I, with my bung ankle, had to walk 4 kilometers back to the station to get cash out. Ow. Yeah, that was not a fun experience, but my whole reason to go there was the Ultra Twister, the Togo Ultra Twister, because we missed out on the one at Nagashima. So I was like, I'm doing it whilst in Rome. Greenlands has already gone SBNO. Who knows about the others? So I was like, I'm going to Brazilian Wishusen. Anyway, get a cab back up to the top of the hill, and I get in. I beeline it to the Ultra Twister. And it was weird. I got into the park around lunchtime. And I was there for maybe 2 hours. And for the first hour, it was, I'm not going to say busy, but there was people. In the second hour, I was like the only one of like 3 people in the entire park. It's like people were there just for their lunch break. It was interesting, but yeah, that park is. I don't know how that park is running. It's probably the sketchiest park I've ever been to. But yeah, the Ultra Twister. I'm lining up for this thing, and I'm looking, and I'm seeing the catwalk that goes up past the lift hill. There are fist-size holes of rust in the catwalk. There are full, like, support trusses underneath the catwalk that have completely rusted out and are hollow. And it's like, I might die today. And the weird thing is that we were only running one train, which can only carry, was it 4 or 6 people? I think it's only 4 people. No, 6 people. It's six riders. But the thing is, the track is rusty. There's paint flaking off it, which is interesting because I know when Coaster Studios went in 2019, the Ultra Twister was closed for an apparent repaint, which is only 6 years ago, and this thing looked tired. This was one of the worst looking coasters I'd ever seen. But anyway, I was like, it's an Ultra Twister. I don't care if this thing kills me. I'm like, it's my 60th credit. I'm doing it. And I gotta say, as much as I was a bit nervous, That thing is great. I lapped it quite a few times. Oh my god. It's weird because of the way it twists and inverts. You end up hanging like all your weight on your shoulders on the over the shoulder restraints. Because you fully get like hang time. You're fully out of your seat and only hanging by your shoulders. But because of how it rolls, it's not a painful way that your weight is on your shoulders. It actually kind of gradually goes, oh yep, now your weight's on your shoulders and it supports you. That thing is wild. The inversions are awesome. The little airtime hill after the lift is epic, and as the crest of the drop, like for what that ride is and for how old they are, great design. I'm sad they're actually a dying breed because they're bloody brilliant.
I have to
Probably
ask,
my favorite.
How was
Japanese
Pink
film.
Typhoon?
Oh, we're getting there. I ended up getting a couple Zen rides on the Ultra Twister, which was pretty cool. And I ended up going to Pink Typhoon before I went up the hill. And I went to Pink Typhoon. And Pink Typhoon... Well, Pink Typhoon standing coaster, which I didn't see a standing train. I knew they alternated between a sitting and a standing train, but I didn't see a standing train on the like maintenance track, like on the switch track. I didn't see it like anywhere, so I don't know if they'd removed it and are no longer operating it, or it was out for maintenance. But yeah, there was the sit-down train, except there's a backwards train. So backwards Togo, yeah, that was it was actually quite good for what it is for a nearly 40-year-old Togo looper.
It's the good kind
It was
of
good.
jank.
And it's so weird. Everything in that park is operated by one person. So I got a Zen ride on it. Dude literally came down, does my lap bar. Oh, sorry, over the shoulder. Does the over the shoulder restraints, and does the rest in the train. Then goes up and then to the control booth and dispatches me, which I found odd because even in like it's just running on that tight a budget that they're only doing one employee for a train. Which I mean, I was Zen ride, so
I've
you
done
didn't
that.
really need
I've done
more.
that at Luna Park.
Yeah, okay.
Hmm.
For a ride of that size.
For a roller coaster and for a Ferris wheel, yeah. I've solo operated both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But I just found it surprising because I hadn't personally seen it. But yeah, that is a great little ride. Pink Typhoon. I've got to say, I know a lot of people talk like, oh, Japan has some good Togos, and they talk about like Bandit, which sadly we didn't get, Fujiyama, and Surf Coaster Leviathan. Some of the standing looping models, like we did a thing called Hurricane at Himeji Central Park.
That was good fun.
That's good fun. They're good rides. They're nothing worse than an Arrow. Like for when you go, this is an 80s design basic looping coaster. Nothing worse than an Arrow. Like I wouldn't say they were any more jank or painful than Gold Coaster. If anything, Hurricane was smoother.
I will say I'm glad that the front seat was an option for us because with the length of our legs, it would not have been an option to get in any of the other seats.
Yeah. Yeah, like I actually think I put Fujiyama as probably my least favorite Togo that I experienced. Like I'm pretty sure I've in my rankings Pink Typhoon and Hurricane are higher.
Would you recommend Brazilian Park
that's a
Wishes
fun...
in Highland to our listeners?
Well, I would and I wouldn't. It's a bit of a tough one because there's the cycle, like the self-cycle ride that you go out over the mountain, and that thing's actually scary because the whole thing rocks as you pedal. Like it feels flimsy like cheese. Like you're like, holy crap. But yeah, these amazing views, and the park does give these amazing views. I sadly missed out on their third credit. It was closed when I went. The park is really beautiful for views. It is quite badly run down though. Like it's sad. A lot of things are overgrown. Everything is faded. A lot of things are rusting. As I said before, I didn't do the S&S shot tower, space shot, because it was sitting in a puddle of hydraulic fluid, or what looked like hydraulic fluid, and I just went, yeah, nah. Like, I'm surprised that park is still operating, but that's almost why I would recommend it, because I don't think it's going to exist for much longer. And I think it's one of 3 currently operating Ultra Twisters. Probably going to go soon. So is the one at Nagashima. So the one of those 2 of the original layout, there's not long left. So I would recommend it purely for that. And Pink Typhoon's a good coaster. And just the views. But yeah, overall is a good park. Probably not. But because it doesn't feel long in the tooth for how much time it's got left, I would say it's worth it to just sort of experience a park in its autumn.
Fair. Kieran, what's a park you've been to that you think most people have not been to?
I'm going to say another one that we didn't do together, and this was when I made my day trip to Kyoto. First of all, I went not a roller coaster park, but I went to a movie studio park called Toei Studio Park, and that's where they've got a giant statue of an Evangelion Unit 1 there that you can sort of go up inside and sit in the entry plug. And that was all really fun because Evangelion's probably my favorite anime. But I only spent a short amount of time there because I had a lot to fit in that day. And I decided then I'd go to like all the temples and sites to see in Kyoto. So I went hiked up the hill to Kiyomizu-dera, and that was so packed. It was so overwhelming, the amount of tourists there. You could barely move getting up the hill, and it's a lot of white people dressed in kimonos and walking in those block shoes. They're not going to be moving very fast trying to hike up that hill. And I get that it's a service that they offer, but it seems odd to me to dress up in someone else's culture. But anyway, but yeah, so I did the trip to Kiyomizu-dera, and I'm glad I went. It was beautiful. But I was also going to make a trip to Fushimi Inari, but judging by the amount of crowds there were at Kiyomizu-dera, I went, I'm going to rethink this. And I decided, rather than do that, that I would hot-foot it over to Hirakata Park, which was in the last 2 hours of its operating that day. I'm glad I went, but I would say it's not the best coaster park in the world. I got to ride 4 of their 5 credits. Thankfully, the only one that was down was like their tiny little kiddie credit. Elf, their wooden coaster, it's all right. It's fine. Didn't change my life. Crazy Coaster, their Wild Mouse, that was good fun for a wild mouse. Good forces there.
See, that's
Fantastic Coaster, Rowdy.
See, that's the bizarre thing to me. When you say Crazy Mouse was okay, did it spin for you?
Trying to remember if it did. I don't think it did.
Yeah, because I had done a couple of videos in the past of aggregating a bunch of reviews of what were the worst coasters in the world based on reviews. And Crazy Mouse at Hirakata Park came up a number of times.
I honestly had more fun on Crazy Mouse than I did on Red Falcon.
Interesting, because
I've actually also heard that Crazy Mouse has bad reviews.
I'd heard, well, yeah, like I'd done this video based on what are the worst coasters in the world based on reviews on like Captain Coaster or whatever they were, and it was Crazy Mouse at Hirakata Park came up, and it was purely because of the fact that it doesn't spin that people said it became painful.
I didn't think it was painful. It had some great laterals, and actual out of any coaster there, it was the only thing that had anything resembling airtime.
Huh. There you go.
Um,
Ejector Beartime with the
Elf
with the
was fun, but it didn't have airtime for me.
Ejector Beartime with the challenging opinion that's going to make me want to ride Crazy Mouse at Hirakata Park to find out who I agree with.
By no means is it amazing, but I'd say it was probably one of the better coasters.
I'm not expecting amazing. I'm just interested that the Captain Coaster consensus seemed to be that it was awful, but you've now said otherwise, and I now have to go and find out for myself whether I think it's average or awful.
Yeah, it was good.
Well, I think we can tell you something that is awful that we both agree on that you haven't written that almost challenges Black Hole 2000.
Go on.
You're gonna have to refresh my memory.
Steampunk Coaster Iron Bull
Oh my god!
at Parque España.
Great theming.
Don't do that
Great
to me.
theming.
Don't
have knees.
Don't do that to me because I love its name.
It's a great name, but
It's
don't have
very
knees.
Dragon Age Inquisition, if you know, you know.
Don't have knees. Don't have knees on that ride.
I just love that name so much that I will refuse to believe that it's bad until I experience it for myself.
Yep, well, have fun.
I'm sure I will.
You might do all right because you're smaller, but
I'm sure.
Actually,
I'm sure.
I'm
also taller. I'm a tall, skinny boy. I'm sure if it's a knees problem, I will also have that problem.
It's a knees problem.
Yeah, if it's a knees problem,
shoulders problem.
it's a problem I'm gonna have.
What was a knees and shoulders?
Anyway, Kieran, would you recommend Hirakata Park to our audience?
I would not.
No.
Now, granted, I was only there for 2 hours, so I didn't get to really experience their flat rides, or their like rapids ride or anything like that. So I didn't get the full gamut of what they had to offer. But as far as just doing a credit run, I would not.
Okay, I thought at least just for some interesting credits like an Intamin Woody.
I'm glad I got the credit. I'm glad I tried it, but it didn't change my life.
Would you recommend doing Tobu Zoo over Hirakata Park to get
100%?
Woody? Yeah, because I think that's the thing is Regina's not that bad a coaster. Regina's pretty good.
Regina, I had great fun on.
Yeah,
there you go.
I think that had to do something with it was our first coaster in Japan.
And I
together.
suppose the difference between Tobu Zoo and Hirakata Park is that Regina is probably the second best coaster at Tobu Zoo.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, very much so. Kawasemi is in my top 10.
Kawasemi is great. The ejector airtime on that is insane.
We never got back row.
I am excited to hear you say that because I'm going to Happy Valley Shanghai where there is a clone of Kawasemi. So I'm
nice.
I'm keen to see how much I love it.
Kawasemi is probably my biggest surprise of the trip. It was awesome.
Good.
In terms of credits.
Obviously, when I've got a trip that includes the likes of Dynaconda and Beyond the Cloud, it's not at the top of my excitement list, but it is one of the ones that I'm expecting could be the surprise factor of the China trip.
Actually, I will put an addendum there. It's probably my second biggest surprise. Gekion Live was actually probably my biggest surprise.
Damn,
that was good fun.
Damn, okay.
I wasn't expecting that much. I was honestly willing to skip the park, and I'm so glad I did not because Gekion Live is such an ingenious little ride.
Damn.
You know what were big surprises for me? Because I had zero expectation for both of them. Comet Express.
Fucking great coaster.
And Space Fantasy.
Comet Express.
I can get in on Comet Express.
And Space Fantasy, yeah.
Fucking great coaster. And I was really, I actually, this is me coming out of my shell a little bit because when I first reviewed Comet Express on my channel, I was a little bit reserved and cautious because I felt like maybe I was just not that experienced of a coaster enthusiast and that I was overrating it because I hadn't been on that many coasters and I didn't know what a good coaster was. So I
It's
kind of
baby
was
space
like,
fantasy, and
oh,
space
I
fantasy
thought it was really good, but like I didn't want to say too much about it.
It's space fantasy with existential cosmic Lovecraftian horror.
It's just so fucking good. It's so
it's
You
bizarre.
get eaten and turned into space poo.
you get eaten and turned into space poo. And I will say I also
Yeah.
rode it alone. So also spinning coaster unbalanced. I also, as well as getting eaten by space worm and turned into space poo, I also got spun the fuck out of. So
Yeah.
I also just came off that ride being like, why is no one talking about this? Because I think that was actually fucking brilliant.
Well, we actually met up with some friends at Yongju World, and I know
Mm.
they had very similar thoughts about Comet Express as we did.
See,
They loved it as well.
I was just so cautious about it when I reviewed it the first time on Maloney's Coasters, being like, I've never heard anyone talk about this coaster before, so I don't want to sound like an idiot because I know that I'm also like I don't have that a whole lot of credits. So maybe I'm just overrating this thing because I don't have a whole lot of experience. But I still to this day think it's just it's one of the coasters that has surprised me the most. Just for how
Yeah.
much fun I had on it, for how low expectations I had of it.
And
I think it
how
is a
they've
ride.
managed to theme it so well despite having egg cartons and some PEX piping and stuff as
It was
theming.
so
And
good.
plastic
It's so
pallets,
well
and yeah,
themed. It's
it's
really
so
well
it's so
themed.
well themed, but it's so well themed, but it's also themed in a way that makes it feel like it's done as like the staging for like a kindergarten like play.
Oh, 100%. It's
It
still
feels like it's
like
done on a similar budget, but it is so good.
it's still so well themed. And then yeah, like I said, I rode in a car by myself and it was unbalanced and the amount of spinning that I got, I was
Yeah. I know when Kieran and I rode it, which we rode together, we were just like, what on earth is going on? We were just like, what is this? We thought we were tripping.
Yeah.
it was
And sadly we couldn't get separate rides because it had a really long queue because
Yeah.
Atlantis Adventure was down.
And it was raining and we were literally standing out in the rain without an umbrella.
Did you get on
Yeah.
Atlantis Adventure?
No,
No,
it was
it's shut
closed
for
for
maintenance.
maintenance.
Oh. So that's my
So-
one thing in Korea that I can hold over you.
They were
Yeah.
testing it, so it was running, but it was like testing.
Yeah, it was
You
such
may have T Express and Python and Draken, but I can hold Atlantis Adventure over you.
Yeah, you can.
Because
100%.
that thing is also look, okay, it's not great, but
But I promise you.
it's in a similar vein to Comet Express, as in it's just bizarrely good in a way that is totally unexpected.
I think that's a lot about that park. I think a lot of things at that park is just bizarrely good.
It's
You don't expect
just
them to be.
so strangely Atlantis Adventure is just so strangely good in a way that seems like this is wrong, like it shouldn't. Like I came in expecting Intamin launch coaster, slightly more thrilling than Jet Rescue, basically.
Hmm.
And it somehow does just the most bizarre amount of ridiculous ejector airtime, and it's look. I will say it's a little rattly, but
It looked like bad rattle, to be honest.
It's quite rattly, but over that top hat and like off the drop on the second lift, it's got the most bizarre ejector airtime that feels like they didn't actually intend it to be that way. It feels like a coaster that has unintentional airtime. It's crazy.
I'd like to change tack and talk about the coasters that this will probably might have different opinions. We might have similar opinions, but the coasters that we both feared for our lives and or safety on.
I'd say the Ultra Twister, 100%. As I've already mentioned.
I just want to point out I still have to tell you my park that no one's gone to, but I will also get in. I will also get in on this topic of conversation because it is
because there was a story involved.
Well, let's do both of yours, Jake. So
yeah, Jake, let's start with you.
Okay. So the park that I would talk about that I think not many people go to, I was picking between any of the ones in Taiwan because I feel like not many people go to Taiwan.
Yeah.
But the one that I think people probably overlook in Taiwan, even if they do go, is Formosan Aboriginal Culture Village, which I think to this day is the best theme park in Taiwan.
Okay.
Do not miss it. If you go to Taiwan, I know that
planning on coming next year.
I know that Discovery World's got Gravity Max. I know that Jamferson Fantasy World has got the two B&Ms, and they're great. Please do go to them. They're absolutely fantastic. But go to Formosan Aboriginal Culture Village. It is fantastic in a bizarre way. It's so the park is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Set amongst like half of the park is this kind of demonstration of traditional indigenous culture from Taiwan. Obviously, Taiwan is not traditionally Chinese. There are indigenous cultures that have existed there since long before the Chinese colonized it. And there are like exhibits and stuff that show that culture through half of the park, which is absolutely fascinating. There are also chairlifts and that sort of thing that take you over the natural landscape. It is a very beautiful natural landscape with mountains, lakes. It's gorgeous. Just the most picturesque place that you could imagine having a theme park. And then
it looks really pretty.
It is absolutely captivating, naturally speaking. And then the theme park itself, look, there's nothing groundbreaking there. There's nothing that is like, you've got some poster that is absolutely breathtaking, like a B&M or a Vekoma tilt coaster. Literally, there's 3 credits there, and it's a Vekoma SLC, a Vekoma family coaster, and a Mark Super Splash. It's nothing special. But every single coaster, every single ride at that park feels like it's a park on a modest budget that has tried to do a Disneyland level thing. Like every single thing they've done, you can tell that they're working on a modest budget, but they've still put in every single ounce of effort that they possibly could. And it's fucking spectacular. Like, I love it to bits for all of the charm. I love it for all of the effort that they've put in. Space Mountain is bizarrely good. Somehow it's good. My Adventure, which is the Vekoma SLC, it's shit because it's an SLC, but like it's an SLC that weaves between Mayan temples. So like you kind of have to appreciate it for that. And then the Mark Super Splash Armada Invincible is the best of the lot because it's just gorgeous with the like Spanish Armada theming and this beautiful lake around it. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I think that's the thing that captivates me the most about that park is look, none of the rides are groundbreaking. But the whole place just looks brilliant. There's a great rapids ride. The whole place looks fantastic. And if they could build like one coaster that was really truly top quality, then they'd have just the perfect park.
So definitely a recommend.
100% a recommend. Go there. You will not, as a coaster enthusiast, lower your expectations in terms of the rides. I think if you're going there just for the rides, the best thing you're going to get is there's an Intamin gyro drop. And also the rapids ride is pretty good. But if you go there thinking, you know, amusement park and I want a brilliantly decorated, gorgeous, naturally beautiful amusement park, you won't get better in many places in the world, let alone in Taiwan.
Yeah, no, that's awesome to hear. Because I am looking at doing a Taiwan trip next year.
Yeah, do it. It's a gorgeous place. It's bizarre but absolutely beautiful.
Well,
and I would say also the log flume there is really fantastic as well. Really well themed.
Also, they have a log flume on top of the rapids ride.
So they have a log flume and a rapids ride. The log flume goes through a restaurant and it has animatronics and stuff. It's really good. It's in terms of the only other one that comes close to it in terms of like the level of effort put into the attractions is probably Liufu Village Theme Park. But I think Liufu doesn't have as good a rides.
Yeah.
Formosan.
Did you get on Flying Condor?
Screaming Condor? Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Screaming Condor. Sorry.
I didn't like it. Which is so bizarre to me. Because, like, you look at the stats on that thing. And it's like you should at least like it for being that big, forceful beast that it is. It just wasn't, it didn't do anything. I expected, like, airtime on the spikes or...
So just quite forceless.
Yeah, it just wasn't really like the launch is forceful. The launch gets you going, gets your heart pounding because it kicks in quite quickly. But that one has one vertical spike and one twisted spike. Vertical spike does nothing, and the twisted spike actually is unpleasant because when you laterally twist around the spike, you actually headbang a bit. So it's kind of I didn't really like it at all.
Okay.
And
what about things that you feared for your safety on?
Things that I feared for my safety on. I don't know if there's. I would say the closest I've come to like truly fearing for my safety is PAX. The PAX Wild Train at Park St. Paul.
Okay. Which is now no longer.
No longer. I rode it in its last operating season, I believe.
Man, coasters called Wild Train aren't, you know,
They haven't had a good time
hanging around, are
recently,
they?
no.
Yeah.
And I don't blame them because it's a Russian-built coaster. So, even if you did trust it, then with all that's currently going on in the world, it's not going to be very easy to get spare parts.
Yeah.
But the PAX Wild Train at Park St. Paul, it was, it felt jank in the wrong way. That's the difference between the one at Park St. Paul versus the one that was famous at Fantasiana. The one at Fantasiana felt jank in a way that you could kind of laugh about. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
that airtime is absolutely ridiculous. And that's kind of funny. It still felt like they hadn't really intended for it to be that way. And, the airtime felt unintentional but ridiculous. But the one at Park St. Paul, it had moments where the laterals or the airtime felt unintentional, and that actually felt dangerous.
Okay.
Like it didn't feel like the Austrian one where it was like, oh, that airtime is about 3 times as powerful as they intended it to be, and that's kind of funny. It felt kind of like that lateral moment was about 3 times as powerful as they intended it to be, and I felt the whole train shudder.
Yeah.
Like it felt like that whole thing could fall apart at any given moment. So that's my answer to that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to give your answer, Kieran? And then
I've got 3 nominees.
Yep.
First one I have is Family Banana Coaster because I legitimately thought I was going to break both my ankles on it.
Yep. That
Purely
does not
because
sound fun.
the lack of room and the forces. Not that there was a great amount of forces, but the fact that my ankles were so wedged into that thing in order to get me on the coaster, I legitimately thought that anytime I would go around a corner and, any kind of force would probably snap my ankles in half.
Yeah.
Ironically, I've broken my ankle in a different way, but just not on that coaster.
Yeah, I must say, just for clarification, I never actually did Yokohama Cosmo World because I actually arrived into Japan a day after you did, Kieran.
Yep.
So yeah, this is not something I've actually experienced myself. So it's interesting to hear that.
Nominee number 2 would be Flounder's Flying Fish Coaster at Tokyo Disney Sea. Purely, it's probably less I feared for my safety, but I feared for your safety.
Yeah, well, that was going to be my pick. The Ultra Twister, which was just purely because of its condition. Riding it, actually once it was on it, it felt safe enough. It was more just the condition that it appeared to be in was what was concerning to me. But yeah, there's a story about Flounders, which I'll tell when we get to me. But what's your next nominee?
And my final nominee would be T-Express because of the height clearance.
Oh yeah, 100%.
We legitimately thought we were going to get decapitated on that coaster.
Mm.
The head chopper moments were head chopper moments. We ducked.
Yeah, no, that thing is actually quite scary in terms of head choppers.
I don't love that though.
It's good once we'd gone 3 times on it and sort of slowly allowed ourselves to sit in the car without slouching because we thought that our heads would be taken off. But that first ride, my God.
Yeah.
We the first head chopper moment, we went, oh my God, and ducked and looked at each other and were wondering whether we'd survive the rest of the ride.
Yeah, we were a bit. You could touch the supports on the lift hill. You could reach up and touch the supports above you on the lift down. No, yeah, obviously that's not the most concerning area, but yeah, we were a bit like, oh crap.
And to a lesser extent, like I didn't feel fear for my safety, but it was just a case of, okay, we are not raising our hands when we go through the tunnel, and that was Steel Dragon 2000, most notably because both of us were actually over the height limit for that roller coaster, and they
But
did.
we were never. Yeah.
I do have to ask, because I asked this of anybody who's ever been on that. How strictly did they enforce that?
We never
They didn't check us, but we also preemptively were like slouching so that we didn't appear to be
Yeah, okay.
that tall.
Because I'm so nervous of getting turned around from that thing.
Well,
Yeah,
how
so
tall
as
are
long
you?
as you, when you're in line, don't stand at your full height,
Yep.
you should be okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
like we've
also,
both got on it, and I'm pretty sure we're both taller.
Yeah.
you know, don't say, "Oh, you heard Ejector Beartime say this, and now I don't have a hand because I raised my hand in the air on Steel Dragon 2000."
Yes,
Like,
please,
Yeah,
please
we made
respect.
sure that like
Please respect the park's rules, but at the same time, yeah.
yeah.
yeah,
Have some
we
common
knew,
sense about the thing.
Yes.
we knew that the height was more going to be an issue with the clearance envelope when we stuck our hands up. So
Yeah.
we just knew that obviously on the first drop and the like camelbacks and stuff you can, but when it does
Yeah.
its way back, then there are some head choppers. So we
Going
knew.
through the tunnels, so we put our hands down for those moments.
Yeah,
It's
and
just
there
bizarre
is
that
one
that would
low
be-
support just before you.
It's just bizarre that that would be their height restriction, because I suppose, and I know it's a stereotype, but I suppose the average height in Japan is smaller than what it is in Australia or America or Britain or anything like that. But it's
Well,
still,
I think it's
to have it as low as 185 is still bizarre.
it's a clearance envelope issue, and the reason I actually think the lowest part and the closest part was actually a particular support, and that thing
Yeah.
is a mess of supports because of earthquakes and because of how bloody tall it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's as far as I'm aware, I think it was the most expensive coaster ever built, not by Disney or Universal.
It is, yes, you're correct. And that is
And it
because
might
of that
still be,
support structure.
because of how much steel.
Yep. It's because of that support structure. But I still
Yeah,
feel
because of
like
how much-
if I was designing a coaster and did the clearance testing and realized that the maximum height would be 185, I would go, oh shit, we need to redesign this thing.
But
It's
if that's
like-
well above the average of the country where you're building it.
Well, because 185 is literally, I'm 6'1".
Mm.
So it's like the moment that you're 6 foot, which is, yes, tall, but not
No, it's not giant.
freakishly tall.
Yeah.
It's the moment you're above 6 foot, you can't ride it. And that's like, I think a decent percentage of, at least in Australia and America and stuff, a decent percentage of men are 6 foot and above.
Yeah.
My thighs with were actually probably the biggest thing that was the size restriction on that ride.
The clamshell restraints, yeah.
Yeah, the clamshells, yeah. Because they were quite tight.
I
They did need a bit of convincing.
I've sent a video in the chat on the channel that we're recording on that I've just seen on RCDB. And this inverted coaster, I just want you to look at the first drop of this inverted coaster, which for those listening is Soaring Dragon at Fanta Wild National Colors Spring and Autumn in
I have seen this.
Sichuan, China.
It is insane.
Its first drop is a 180-degree twisting inversion almost.
It's like Hyperia, but for an inverted coaster.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Yeah.
Oh
no,
wow.
that thing looks really good. Because that like just opened, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's just opened. It's a Jinmar Rides product. And yeah, its first drop is an inverting thing.
Yeah. I know you were talking about Jinmar in one of the recent episodes, and I'm with you. Jinmar looks really promising.
Jinmar have really upped their game recently.
Yeah.
I think they're really attempting
That
to.
looks
Yeah,
cool.
I'm obviously talking about newer Jinmars.
Yeah, the newer Jinmas, it looks like they're really trying to meet Western standards, to try and break out of just being in the Chinese market and I suppose the few countries that are willing to accept the Chinese market. So it's some of what they've produced in doing so is actually really promising looking. Like I think I did mention that launch coaster that was intended for that park in America, but then they changed their mind last minute.
Yeah, which is a shame.
What was it? I think it was in Missouri, and
yeah, it was like,
I forget the name of the park, but they changed their mind and went with Vekoma last minute, which we all love a Vekoma, but I'm still at the same time I would have been like, it would have been so nice to see how well that Jinma would have gone. But I don't think it'll be too long before we see Jinma break out of the Chinese market. They're a privately traded company now. They seem to be trying to go above and beyond to try and meet international standards. So I think it won't be too long before at least somewhere in Europe or something like that will eventually say, hey, let's give them a go.
My shout is for Italy.
It wouldn't shock me.
I feel like Italy has... Yeah, I feel like Italy...
Oh, I think
we've lost Heidi again.
I think we're losing, yeah.
Oh.
Sometimes when you get excited, Heidi, it disappears. Still has disappeared. She must be still very excited.
Yeah.
No, but I do agree with what she was saying, that Italy does seem to have, and I say this in a non-condescending way or anything like that, some of their amusement standards do still seem to be a little bit laxer in other parts of Europe.
Right.
So I think if anywhere is going to have the ability to say, hey, we can just take a chance on a Chinese manufacturer, that could be it. That could be it.
Yeah.
Are you there, Heidi? Heidi
seems to be a bit of a
has disappeared.
Technical issues.
Yes, technical issues. To be fair, we have been recording for almost 2 hours now.
Yes. Oh, I think she keeps on experimenting with her mic. It might be mic issues. I don't know. Oh, we lost her.
Hello.
Hello.
There.
Welcome back.
Sorry, I apologize.
Welcome back.
I don't know what that was. Yeah.
Well, we were just saying that
Jinma, Italy.
Jinma, Italy, yes.
Yeah. No, I could see it happening. I feel like they're more willing to, like, they've done like a Maura X car and a Maura Spike and Togo stand up. Like, I feel like they're willing to sort of experiment with a more left of field manufacturer or model.
I was just saying that I think they do have lower standards in terms of and I say this in a non, I'm not going to accuse them of anything, but I think they do have lower safety standards.
Probably.
So I think that means it's less of a concern or less of a red flag to try a new manufacturer or a Chinese manufacturer or a, whatever.
Yeah, but I could see like a small French park getting one as well.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I've been to French parks and it wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, what was my coaster that I felt like was going to kill me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Flounders. Because Flounders was an interesting one for us. More so me.
Wait, I'm interested that it was at a Disney park though.
Yeah, well, what is Disney parks known for? Queues and very fast operations.
Yes.
So
on a child's coaster,
on a family children coaster, like but It's a Togo. It's a kiddie coaster or kiddie family coaster. They're not big trains. They're not big cars.
Yeah.
So we were hesitant that we would fit two abreast.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And anyway, we attempted. Kieran got in first on the left side, and then I got in. Now, it got to, I was literally, I had my left sort of, the left half of my left buttocks, sitting on Kieran's right thigh.
Yep.
And then the right-hand side of my right buttocks was sitting actually on the fiberglass curve on the outside of the seat bucket.
Right.
Like basically the side of the train. I was not in the seat. My ass was probably 4-5 inches out of the seat. And then I was about to get up and reshuffle, and they basically just pulled the restraints down, the lap bars. And I was like, oh, okay, we're going. I tried like shimming down, and then we realized we had to hold on to our bags because it's a Disney ride. So we had our bags on us, so I couldn't hold on because I had to hold on to my bags. I wasn't in the ride, and somehow the lap bar came down. I was actually pretty much unrestrained on this ride. And I think because of how fast they push operations at a Disney park, and because I have such a long queue, like we waited 40 minutes for it, was potentially the downfall of what happened there, and maybe not used to two larger riders sitting two abreast. And I think they then didn't want to get one of us out and put us by ourselves in another car because that would have probably skewed up the queuing. But yeah, no, that was quite scary because I essentially was hanging out the side of the coaster car because, like I say, my right hand side was sitting on the outside of the train.
Damn.
Yeah, so through the lateral moments and stuff, it was like, holy crap, I could slip out of this at any moment. So yeah, no, that was mildly terrifying.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that was one of the few rides that I was allowed to do a POV on.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were filming for that.
Yeah. Now you can't quite see because I'd ridden it previously solo because Heidi turned up late that day. Yeah. And so I got a reaction shot by myself, and then the POV was the both of us in the car, but Heidi was just framed out, also because she was half hanging out of the car. And it was just the weirdest experience.
Yeah. No, that was like, I know it's a little key coaster and it sounds funny that that's probably the most nerve-wracking experience that I've had, but yeah, it seriously was pretty dicey. And yeah, that's no shade on Disney or anything. I'm not trying to speak ill of the park or anything. It's just that's what I
Disney
believe.
Sea was pretty much a flawless park.
Yeah,
It was
that park
incredible.
is gorgeous. I'm a little bit annoyed that I didn't do the entire day because I went in early because of my ankle. I decided to take about 2 more hours to rest my ankle before I went into the park.
Whereas I used the tail end of my day to explore Disney Springs. Oh, Fantasy Springs, I think.
Yeah, because you got the credits before I'd arrived.
Yeah.
And then I went on the credit run when you did Fantasy Springs.
Yeah.
Because I did the single rider line for
Raging Spirits.
I forgot its name. I was thinking Indiana Jones, but yeah. Which is actually a decent ride.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's all right for what is essentially a looping Zyklon.
A very well-themed looping Zyklon.
Yeah. Even though the coasters, like, there's not really credits there, and the credits that are there aren't anything special. That park is. I kept saying that my eyes had diarrhea, had indigestion. Sorry, not diarrhea, indigestion.
Yeah, it was.
I just couldn't.
It wasn't eye candy. It was diabetes.
Yeah, it was just so much to take in the best way possible.
Yeah.
It was so damn pretty.
I will thoroughly recommend that if you want to get a ride in on any of the sort of most popular rides in Fantasy Springs, things like Anna and Elsa's Frozen Journey, then you need to line up by 7 a.m. at the latest. Because I lined up at 7:30. I got into the park just after 9, and you have to have scanned your ticket before you can buy fast passes. And all of the fast passes had sold out up until 5:40 p.m. And I just got a fast pass in for Anna and Elsa's Frozen Journey.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It was wild.
I think those the Disney and Universal parks were wild. They were just so busy.
But that was so funny how we like sped run it to get we powered through Universal to make our way to Flying Dinosaur at the very start of the day, and because everyone else was like going to Super Mario World or the Wizard Lady's place that we won't mention by name, the crowds hadn't quite made their way to the back of the park where Flying Dinosaur was, so we got 3 rides in a row in the morning.
I think we would have done more, but I think it was so intense that I think it sort of just knocked us, especially me. I think, but yeah, like that thing was, that thing is special, and I'm so surprised that they haven't built more flying coasters since. Like it's the newest flying coaster, and it's nearly 10 years old.
So good.
So good. Well, it's my number 2 after Hakuge.
Same.
Yeah. Those were something special. Those 2 rides. I got to say, Acrobat's not a bad ride too.
Acrobat's
and it was a
great.
very good taste, but there's something weird about because there's off the top of the drop, especially in the back. Because I think our first ride on Flying Dinosaur was back row.
Yeah, I think so.
You get airtime. You get airtime on the drop in a flying coaster, and it is a very weird sensation.
And the G-forces going through the pretzel loop and just
it's Blackout City.
It was so good.
Such a special ride, that. Yeah. I gotta say, the Universal coasters, as much as Universal is known for being more having more thrill rides than Disney, I got impressed with Hollywood Dream.
Yeah, Hollywood Dream I thought was mid.
Oh, okay. Can you still ride it backwards?
It's okay.
Yeah, we did both.
Oh, okay.
I think we did backwards first because that's what our fast pass was.
Yeah.
Because it was a timed fast pass for backdrop, and then we decided to use our other fast pass, which was it was like an elective, like you either ride the Jaws ride or do Hollywood Dream forwards, and the Jaws ride was shut, so it was like that made that decision easy for us.
And I do have to say,
yes. What do you have to say?
I do have to say.
It was a bit frustrating because we did backdrop first, and
oh no. We're never going to know this controversial
Every sentence
opinion.
leaves us on tenterhooks. You might have to disconnect and reconnect, Heidi. Okay. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
Did backdrop.
Okay.
You keep cutting in and out.
You keep cutting in and out. You're probably gonna have to disconnect and reconnect. I would say it doesn't shock me that Hollywood Dream would be kind of mid, because I thought Silver Star at Europa Park was mid.
Is this any better?
Yes.
Sounds better, yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So what I was saying was, it was annoying that once I had done backdrop, despite...
And we lost you again.
It's one of those days.
Oh,
Yeah. We're hearing.
Well, we have been recording for over 2 hours now.
Yeah.
So maybe the is a good sign for us to call this episode to a close.
Yeah.
Hopefully we will be able to
But
hear Heidi again.
I don't know if I'm going to speak for Heidi here. I think Heidi was trying to say that she preferred it backwards to forwards, because I think at the time she was saying she found it more exciting not knowing what was coming.
Yeah. Because I know that the only B&M hyper I've been on is Silver Star, and I thought it was very mid. Just kind of didn't do a lot for me.
I found the music overwhelming. It was way too loud.
Okay.
That's the weird thing. Because I did bad when we did Backdrop. And then I put on some Japanese track for when we went forwards.
Yeah.
And I was confused. It wasn't music. It seemed like two men. Actually, it was a man and a woman in Japanese yelling at each other. It wasn't music. I just didn't know what it was. It just sounded like a couple having a domestic. And I'm like, what is this?
You've picked a scene from a Japanese sitcom or something.
There was no music to it. It was odd. There was really like a bit of a beat in the background, but I wouldn't call it music. But yeah, no. What I was saying was, it was frustrating that I had to basically convince the attendants to let me on forwards, even though I had just done Backdrop because of how tight the restraints were.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was frustrating.
And that was another clamshell situation.
Right, yeah. See, as a skinny boy, I found the clamshells quite comfortable, but I could see how that could be a problem for someone a little bit larger.
Restricting for people with thicker thighs.
Yeah, because of my recent slim down, I was fine. But Heidi was a good litmus test for if you had slightly thicker thighs. Yeah.
Mm.
I do have to say there is one question. There's one little thing from our trip that we still haven't been able to answer, and it's been weighing on us for a long time.
It's so hard.
What is Sancho?
What is Sancho?
What are you, boy?
I don't know. What?
So at Parque España, they've got these cute little animal mascot characters themed to characters from Don Quixote.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is named Sancho, and we can't figure out what kind of animal Sancho is.
Yeah, is he a bear? Is he a rat? Is he a
panda? Like, we don't know.
He's just kind of a grey bull.
Kind of chubby boy.
Yeah. Of nondescript species.
Is the Japanese Don Quixote based on the actual Don Quixote?
I believe so, yes.
And I believe he was a coyote.
Because
Sancho, Don Quixote is a...
Because Sancho Panza in the novel Don Quixote is a squire to Don Quixote.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's all the same sort of crew, and but they're anthropomorphized, and we are unsure of what species Sancho is.
Right. So Sancho in the Japanese version is apparently some kind of creature.
I don't well, they're all creatures. So Don Quixote is like a coyote, fox-like creature. So we figured a coyote because Quixote, coyote makes sense. There's
actually does
the sort of the Pretty Princess Peach one, who I think was a fox.
It actually does say on his Wikipedia page that Sancho Panza is parodied as Sancho Panda in The Adventures of Don Quixote and Sancho Panda by Hanna-Barbera. But
see, I looked this up and they were different animated characters. They were not the same character designs.
Right.
If you look up the España Sancho mascot, he is just like a nondescript
España Sancho
mammal
mascot.
Yeah.
Let's have a look.
I gotta say, that is a great park, even though we missed out on its two biggest coasters due to weather. It's such a good park.
I am not getting the pictures that I was expecting.
Sancho mascot. Okay, if I look up Sancho mascot, you can see Don Quixote, you can see the little frog guy, and you can see the weird sort of magey cleric fox thing.
Let's put Parque España in front of it.
Okay. There's one down here. Okay, where you can see all the characters in their suits. Outside the front of an archway, and Sancho.
Oh, hang on.
there.
I've found a photo of all of them.
Yep.
I was gonna say it was so cute because when we rocked up, we were there for rope drop. All of the
that
characters,
was so adorable.
all of the characters walk out and they wave as they open up the gates to let you into the park. It was really cute and actually a really nice way of doing rope drop.
And all the park attendants do this whole clapping thing, and sort of they said this little message. It was great.
That's such a special park, and I really hope they get more attendance.
So which one is Sancho? He's.
Can you post it in chat?
Hold on. Yeah, I can. Uploading now. Hold on. There it goes.
Okay, clicking on it. Sancho is second from the left.
Second from the left, so the he's kind of got the blue behind his eyes.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Like an orange.
I don't know what creature that is. That's a creature,
right?
He's a creature of some description.
Is he a bear? Is he like a weird sort of chipmunk? What is he?
He is.
Yeah, is he a rodent? Is he? Yeah.
He's a critter.
Like bear content? Question mark? Is he a bear? Is he a hamster? Is he? What is he? Yeah, we got very stuck on that.
He's a critter.
To the point where it's haunting us at night.
He's just a critter.
Speaking of parks that recommend going to, even if you miss out on the two credits, like the two big credits, that is such a gorgeous park.
Of all parks for us to go, of all parks for us to have gone to in the pouring rain, I'm glad it was that one, purely because they had so many indoor experiences.
Yes, they did,
and it wasn't a complete washout.
That's nice.
It got pretty hectic. Like it was raining pretty damn heavy.
It was raining hard.
Yeah.
Before we go, post your Japan and Korea trip, what is now your top 5 for both of you?
Okay. I'm sort of. It's one of those things that I've got to sort of remind myself of what they were.
I'll pull out my rankings.
For me, it's still Voltron,
5 of the trip?
Voltron, Tutatis, DC Rivals, Hyperia, and Wrath of Zeus.
Okay. Are we doing top 10, top 5 overall, or top 5 of the trip?
Top 5 overall.
I think.
Mine is Hakuge, Dinosaur,
Likewise.
Levy,
DC Rivals,
then Steel Dragon.
Yep.
So we're the same, just Levy and DC Rivals switched around.
Yep. And then 5?
5 was Steel Dragon.
You're 4.
Oh, no,
So
Steel Dragon was my 4.
Okay, no, so I got Rivals above. Yeah, so I got Levy, Rivals, Dragon.
So I'm Hakuge, Dinosaur, Rivals, Steel Dragon. And this is where I'm having trouble picking 5, because I love them both for separate reasons. Either Diavolo at Himeji, because that was my 100th credit, my first ever B&M Batman clone, which I loved. Or Draken at Gyeongju World.
Well, Draken is my number 6, and Diavolo is my 7th.
There you go.
Yeah. And then I've got, just to round out my top 10, I've got Kawasemi at Tobuzu. That is how good that thing is. It's top 8.
Kawasemi is my number 10.
Yeah, then Acrobat, and then Skull and Hardy.
Okay, so I've got
Levy is my
Acrobat,
number
Levy,
6.
and Steel Taipan in there as well.
Levy's my number 6. It's just outside. I've got Superman Escape in there at number 7 because I still love it to bits. And then
Superman Escape is like 13 for me.
And then I've got Monster at Walligator, Wodan at Europa Park, and Steel Taipan.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Superman Escapes above like Thunder Dolphin.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Steel Taipan is in my top 10. Giant Digger, I didn't enjoy as much as I enjoy Steel Taipan.
More than the same.
I prefer Steel Taipan, but not by a huge amount.
I've got Giant Digger at 12.
Oh, I've got it at 20.
I got Giant Digger at 18 and Steel Taipan at 12. It's quite a big gap for me, if I'm honest.
I've got...
This is also like, I haven't completely cemented in my rankings, but it's just a rough thing. Giant Splash, I rate above Giant Digger.
Really? Okay. Because I've got Steel Taipan
Giant
at
Splash
10.
was so much fun.
I've got Steel Taipan at 10 and Giant Digger at 20. And Giant Splash is at 55.
Really?
Which is still...
I'd rate Giant Splash as the best ride at Adventure Busan.
It's still B tier. Like I said, I have the tier system as well. It's still B tier. I have B tier all the way down to 57. But it's just a bit too simple for me.
I think the reason that I've got it up so high is because I considered Steel Taipan and Giant Digger as so similar, so it seemed odd to have Giant Digger that much lower. But you know, I know Steel Taipan just hit harder than Digger did to me.
Yeah, I think it's because of the spike. It actually launches about 5Ks faster, and I feel like you really notice it. And then I have a theory. Giant Digger feels quite a bit rougher than Steel Taipan, and I think it's because they have higher temperature extremes. I think because they go into the negatives and then they go like to 30 degrees at that
coastal park. Yeah,
they have
problem.
A lot of temperature differential.
I didn't notice that problem because I rode Giant Digger probably 4 or 5 months after it opened. So to me, it was far smoother than Steel Taipan. But I still did
in my
think that this. I thought that the Giant Digger ran better through the actual layout, but I still think Steel Taipan's spike and also the spinning seats just make it a much better ride overall.
Personally, I think it runs better, but at least, like, I mean, obviously there's a good couple of years between our experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just remember loving Giant Splash.
Giant Splash.
I would be curious to ride another.
Being so glad that we put wet weather gear on before we got on it.
That splashdown is huge,
that was
right? I'd like to ride another.
You can see it at the tail end of my trailer.
I'd like to ride another Super Splash at a time where it's not like 5 degrees.
Honestly, it's a perfect match for SeaWorld. SeaWorld needs one.
SeaWorld could do with one. I'm not entirely against the idea that Dreamworld should get one, other than the fact that I think that their water ride should be family friendly.
Yeah, I feel like if they were to, it's the secondary water ride. It's not the main water ride.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, look at Adventure Busan. They also have a log flume.
Yeah. It's not a good fit for a main water ride. It's like an extra water ride. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because it is admittedly a pretty damn short experience.
It is.
It doesn't do a whole lot.
But also the queue is short enough that we could marathon it.
Yes.
Queue to walk through though.
It's a very
Such a
pretty
long walk.
ride, though. The Giant Splash, they've done it quite.
It's gorgeous.
It's pretty.
And we did it right at sunset too.
Mm.
That sounds nice. Anyway,
Because we did that the day we landed.
We've been doing this for an awful long time. Honestly, if we want to keep talking,
2.5 hours.
we should probably start a new episode if we want to keep talking. So let's call it there.
Sure.
Yep.
Kieran, where can they find you?
You can find me at Ejector Beartime on YouTube, and you can find me at ejectorbeartime.bsky.social on Blue Sky.
Heidi,
How about yourself, Jake?
Heidi, where can they find you if they're really curious?
Probably standing in the car park of Movie World, shaking my fist angrily at VRTP's operations of that park.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a Total Bearloni episode without a dig at movie at VRTP.
We just had to get it in
man.
there. And you can find me at Maloney's Coasters on YouTube. By the time this podcast episode goes up, there should hopefully be a new video there. And you can also find Maloney's Coasters off-ride footage on YouTube, which if you're a content creator, all of that footage is free for you to use as long as you credit me. So go and check that out as well. But in the meantime, this has been
an absolute bunch
of total
Bearloni.
What a bunch.
What a bunch.
What a
bunch.
fucking bunch.
What a bunch.